Hello and welcome to Twin Flame Tuesday on the Spiritual View. I'm Jennifer Halliburton with the Awakened Tarot, and I'm one of the Soulful Revolution certified tarot readers and one of the hosts for the Spiritual View. And today I'm going to be bringing you the Twin Flame Tuesday reading. And so I'm actually using a different spread than what I usually do this time because as I've really sat back and thought about this Twin Flame mission, I've thought about just, the readings I've done and my own personal journey as well. I feel like that we get very focused on the connection. We get very focused on that other person, what that other person is doing, and that can cause us a lot of stress, a lot of just unnecessary stress by just the excessive focus on the connection. So I feel like that right now, we as the feminines, because most of the people that are watching this channel are typically going to fall into the divine feminine category, which I consider myself a divine feminine as well. I think that we really do need to spend more time right now focused on just what we are doing on our own ascension, on our own path. And it's not that we're letting go of the connection, because that's one of the questions I get a lot is just, should I just completely let go and just forget about that, move on, and, just forget that that thing ever happened in my life? And it's not that we're doing that. It's just we're pulling back from it. We're not letting it take over our whole full focus right now. We do have other things that we are supposed to be doing on this mission that have nothing to do with anybody outside of ourselves. And so this spread, it brings in less focus on what that other person is doing. So the first part of it is messages from your twin. So we are still connecting in to kind of see, what is going on in that energy, but we're not just fully obsessed over, what they're going to do. We don't even care what they're going to do. Let them do whatever they're going to do, because they're going to do it anyways, correct? All right. And then, we will look at what lessons that you were working through, what are your current blocks, and, what are your opportunities. And then we'll see what the potential outcome is as things stand right now, as you are continuing to work through the lessons. So it is a different approach to the way that I've been doing it. And I am going to go ahead and do the extended. In the extended, I will pull cards for each of the zodiac signs so we can look at each of the connections, just current snapshot, what's going on in that connection right now, and then the best move forward as well. And so that information will be in the description box if that's something that you're interested in. All right, so before we get started, let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths together and do the invocation to call on the spirit team. So if you'll close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths with me. Breathe in. That's 1. Breathe in. That's 2. Breathe in. That's 3. I now call in my angels, archangels, ascended masters, my higher self, and guardian angels to please enter this present space and time. I call upon Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us. Only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. So be it. All right. So let's see. I'm going to pull cards from the Romance Angel Oracle and also from the Twin Flame Ascension before I start pulling from the spread, and I will use the Mermaid Tarot to pull the spread from. So we're going to start with the Romance Angel Oracle. I just want to see what is the current energy of this connection as it stands today. This is a collective reading, so only take what resonates. Great. I set the intention. Only messages for our highest good, and anything that we need to hear will come out in this reading today. So show me the collective, this Twin Flame Collective. What is currently going on with this Twin Flame Collective? I'm going to say the majority of this collective is in separation at this time, because if they weren't, they probably would not be watching this reading. All right. So show me what's going on with this collective. So we have make the effort. The effort. Great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. And the one part with that card that I usually connect to is the steps that you're guided to take. So again, we aren't completely letting go of this connection. We are releasing the control of the outcome of this connection. You can't fully let go of this connection, even if you want to. And so we release the need to have this look in any kind of way, any kind of certain way in our life. It doesn't have to look like a traditional relationship, although I know that's what the majority of us want to see out of this connection. The majority of us are also not going to see that type of relationship out of this. So taking the steps that you're guided to take, to me, just tells me that, like, if you feel like reaching out, if you feel like sending that message, send the message, but don't have any attachment to what that person, your counterpart, is going to do with that, with your efforts, your intentions, your whatever. Don't have any, just whatever. You're sending it because you want to send it. You're sending it because you have a message that you're wanting to send, usually a message of love, something like that. Let it be from a space of love. If it's coming from any other space, it's obviously not going to be well received anyways. But taking the steps that you're guided to take. So this is not telling you that you can't still have any interactions. And I'm even saying that, like, even if your only interaction is like just the get-togethers, every few months you get together and you enjoy the time and then they're gone again. I know that's not what you actually want out of this connection, but if you are feeling guided to be in that moment and to enjoy that moment, I'm giving you, that is the guidance here, is to give yourself the freedom to just enjoy however this connection is showing up, not to force it to be anything. Just do what you're guided to do. Don't try to force anything. Don't do anything because you're trying to get any kind of outcome. The romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring. And so I think this just validates that this connection is real, even if it's not coming together the way that you think that it should, even if it doesn't work in any kind of traditional sense. The connection is real. It is valid. It is there. And I think that that's the thing that drives us the most crazy, is that when we do know that we're on this connection, when we do know that we have this intense connection with this other person, they're not showing it in the 3D, it not being shown in the 3D in a way that, like, the rest of the world can actually see that this connection is real and valuable and something important to us. I think that that messes with our mind. And so we start to doubt the connection. And so this, to me, is just confirmation. The connection is real. No matter how it's showing up in your 3D, this is not a 3D connection. This is a spiritual 5D connection, and that is real. Like, you might feel crazy that you feel so connected to somebody that you don't actually have, the 3D, validation with. And then calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmation, and visualizations help to bring you together. And so just set your intentions very strongly about what it is that you're wanting for this connection. And I think that that's also when we get in that space of, the doubt and the denial and just all of that, that it makes our intentions very unclear. Do we want this connection or not? And I know that that also kind of comes back in this, well, how can I set intentions and also release the outcome? Okay, so we're saying we want this or something better. And in this, it's saying I'm calling in my soulmate. So I'm calling in my divine counterpart. I'm calling in my divine counterpart, no matter how that looks. And so it may not even look like the person that you think that it is. It may show up in a completely different way than what you are expecting it to. And that's how you're releasing the outcome. You're telling the universe, I want my divine counterpart. However that needs to show up for me. However, whenever I am releasing the control of the outcome, the releasing the control of the outcome is releasing the how it gets here, when it gets here, and how it looks when it gets here, like as in the actual person that it might be connected to. And so that is how you're setting the intention. I'm getting my divine counterpart. And so you might, in your head, that means something to you right now. Your divine counterpart right now means to you this other specific person. And you're not letting go of that, but you're saying that or something better. That or the real deal. If that's not the real deal, then you're bringing in the real deal, and I'm going to be open for it when it shows up. All right, so I'm going to pull from the Twin Flame Ascension. I'm just going to pull one card to just see what is where the collective is at right now on this Twin Flame journey. What is the collective energy of this Twin Flame journey? Transformation. Battle of head versus heart. So we have a transformation happening right now. And this does feel like that Two of Swords energy. So it is a stalemate energy. It's not knowing how to move forward with the transformation. Let's see. That is page 45. Pay attention because miracles are unfolding and transformation is occurring, even if you don't see it yet. Soon your reality will match your internal desires. Rid yourself of doubts and avoid logical reasoning, which can create an inner battle between your head and your heart. If you allow your heart to lead, it will always direct you towards your highest good. This card indicates that you are at a make it or break it point, causing you to resist change and avoid taking necessary actions. However, facing your fears will lead to tremendous transformation. Remember that obstacles are only teachers. Stay focused on the higher perspective and steer away from making fear-based decisions. Tune into your inner voice and listen to your heart. Experiencing emotional highs and lows is normal, but don't be rash in taking action. Take time to review your circumstances in your heart instead of reacting from your head. If you are being guided to end a relationship, change careers, move, or just forgive your past and yourself, follow the direction of your heart. It will always lead you towards your destiny. And so that's twice now that I've heard the words guided, that you're being guided. So I do feel like that you are being guided to take some sort of action right now. And part of the this might be actually to move your focus away from the twin. And maybe that's part of what some of these other cards were saying, like what I'm getting the energy from these other cards is it's about bringing your attention away from your twin, that we're bringing in the transformation. You've got to make the changes in yourself first. You've got to make the changes in your own 3D physical space first to make space for this new life that you're trying to create. And so I do think that this transformation is personal. This is personal. You have some things that are kind of in the way right now from being able to fully bring this connection together. This transformation is personal. I feel like it does have something to do with your career, possibly even your home. There's like literal, like I just see there's some physical things that really do need to be done before this connection can truly come together in harmonious union. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull from the tarot. So let me go ahead and shuffle, and then I will put my other screen up so that you can see the cards. All right, so show me what is going on in this twin flame collective right now. What does this twin flame collective need to know right now about their twin flame journey? Does this twin flame collective need to know right now about their twin flame journey? All right. Move this this out of the way here, make some space. Okay. All right. So the first three cards are going to be messages from your counterpart. So what your twin's higher self wants you to know right now. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is fresh start energy. So I am really trying to rebuild my foundations. This is someone who is like, I'm starting from the ground up. Like they possibly could have even lost everything and just, I mean, they've been forced to start over. But this is, I'm building a whole new life. And I do want this new life with you, but I've got to have the right foundations first. And I've done several messages lately where that is the message that the masculine has been sending to the feminine, is just like, I'm trying to set up my foundation. I'm trying to get stable. I know what you deserve. I know who you are, and I know how I need to show up. And right now I am not in that space to be able to show up like that. And so I have some work to do. And so I feel like that is what your counterpart is saying to you right now, is I'm doing the work, but it's going to take some time, because when we're really looking at this card right here, this energy of this card, they are pregnant. They are waiting. This is not something that moves quickly. So when you're pregnant, it's, a 9-month period. And so it takes time. You can't rush the process. The only thing that you can do is take care of yourself and start, doing the preparation work in the meantime. Like I'm preparing the space. And so that's what I'm coming back with. What your part is that you are able to prepare the space for the new life that's being built, even though it's not time yet, even though it's just not time yet. And there's no way to rush that process. And we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is, and this is still messages from your counterpart. So they see you. Oh my goodness, do they see you? And they see you rising up, and partially they feel like they can't quite compare as well, because you are just showing up in this very vibrant energy right now. And this is someone who like, you could get anybody that you wanted. That's the energy that I'm getting. Like you could have anybody that you wanted. And so I think that that's part of, they want to make sure that they are worthy to be able to be standing next to this woman right here. Okay. And then the Two of Pentacles. So again, I have way too many responsibilities. I'm trying to bring balance back to my life. I'm juggling a lot of things right now. This again just echoes several of the same message that I have continued to get. It's just, I am trying to restructure my life. I'm rebuilding my life. I'm setting up my foundation, and it's just going to take me some time. So I think it's just patience. And it's not, don't read too much into this time period. Don't read too much into, the time that it takes. Don't read too much into, even if you're not hearing anything, even if they're being quiet, just know that they are working right now to become worthy of standing next to you. All right. So the next three cards are what lessons you are working through, potential blocks and opportunities. So see if I can move these to where you can actually see those. Okay. All right. So the first card out for you is the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is, this is about spiritual material abundance. And so I think that part of your lessons right now is about what abundance looks like. It is about just seeing how abundant you already are. Because again, what the collective that I am connecting to, this one is very focused on just like, they let the twin flame mission become the end all and be all of their whole life. And it's like, that's all they can think about. That's all that they even just are concerned about. But there's so much more in life than just that twin flame. There's so much more going on in their life than just that one piece and part. And so I do feel like that part of the lessons that, you know, we are working on as the divine feminine is just seeing how expanded we really are, just seeing the fullness of our life, seeing how abundant we are in so many ways outside of money, just seeing all of the friends, all of the connections, all the opportunities, just all the family. Just, I feel like that, I mean, especially feminines are typically very nurturing. And so I feel like that even if you don't have children yourself, you've nurtured tons of children. And so you have lots of respect, you know, kind of coming back at you. And I think that that's part of the lesson right now. It's just, let's see what else we have in our life that is just very abundant and working for us too, instead of just that one part that has kept our focus for too long. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is fated. And so part of the lesson here is what is meant for you can never pass you by. And so just allowing divine timing. This is also about divine timing. And so divine timing is not when God decides that it's time. It's when you come into the alignment with the thing that you're saying that you're wanting. You're coming into alignment with the destiny point. And so if you're not there yet, it doesn't mean that it's not coming. It's just you're not there yet. You're not in alignment with it yet. And so you're just working on just getting into alignment. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. And so the Page of Pentacles is manifesting in a new opportunity, but it's also about being a beginner. But this is, so it's about being uncomfortable, being a beginner. And it's getting comfortable. It's getting comfortable in the being new at something and not having all the answers. But like, you've been prepared enough. You do have enough knowledge that you can take this path and that you shouldn't be just completely overwhelmed by it. But there's just something here about the beginner energy here, getting comfortable with being a beginner at something. So you may need to start some new things. You may have some new things that you're going to be starting. And again, we're trying to get our focus off of that connection, just solely on the connection. We're trying to see what else it is that we are supposed to be doing to become very well-rounded individuals in general. So there's something new that you're supposed to be learning, and it may be uncomfortable. You haven't done it before. Everybody is a beginner, you know, at all things. You have to start somewhere at all things. So anybody that you're looking at, like, okay, there's a TikTok dance that is just like all over the place right now. And I have tried and tried and tried, and I cannot get my body to do what it is they're doing. But as I'm watching these other people, like, how are they doing it? It's just so easy for them to do it. There was a day where they were a beginner at that at one point too. They were a beginner at being able to learn how to move their body and to dance too. And so, like, don't compare yourself to other people's midpoints or endpoints. You're at a beginner stage, and everybody was a beginner at some point. So that's what I'm getting, is that just allow yourself to feel the discomfort as you are starting something new, but you do need to get out there. There is something new that you need to begin. All right, so the potential outcome for this connection is, we have the Nine of Swords. So that is a lot of sleepless nights still. So I feel like that while there may not be a whole lot of communication or activity in the daytime, I feel like in the nighttime, this is why you were feeling so haunted by this connection, is because every time you lay down to go to sleep, this is when it comes back to you. This is when you can't shut it off. And so, you know, this is the part, this is, you know, it's just, you're very connected at the nighttime, but it's causing you a lot of unrest. So there also might be a lot of dreams coming in. I'm getting also connected with the dreams. Just a lot of activity in the 5D during the nighttime. We have strength. So again, this is where I feel like the patience is coming in. It's going to take, and, you know, the strength to overcome the anxiety and the fear. So this just connects me with being patient and not taking the lack of communication, lack of 3D validation, not taking it to heart, not taking it to mean things that it doesn't actually mean. But this means it's going to take some strength. It's going to take, because I mean, it's difficult. It's just difficult to go into these times of separation and not knowing how long is it going to last, and will we ever get to that point where we don't keep bouncing back and forth. And we have the King of Wands. So it is about taking bold action. This is also a card about an entrepreneur. So that beginning, this new beginning that you are doing, this could be a new business, something that you're stepping into, which is very common for the feminines to have something of their own that they're really stepping out and putting out into this world, that they have, this is part of their own personal mission. And so I do think that you have something connected with your own personal mission that you do need to start. And I do love that we've got a pair that did come out in this, the King and Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of passion here, obviously a lot of chemistry here. But, one of the things with the passion is, it might have high passion in the love, but it's also high passion in the anger and high passion in all of the, emotions. And so when you get into arguments, it just, it's the fireworks in this kind of energy. All right. So, what is your best move forward at this time? We have the Page of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. So the Page of Wands is about, you need to follow the things that make you happy. This is about that childlike energy again. It's just kind of, let's do things because they feel good. We're not trying to force things. If something feels like it's forced, we go somewhere else. I mean, just think about the way that a child plays. So when, a child is playing, they're not going to do something that doesn't feel good, right? They're going to move on to something else. When it doesn't feel good, they're just going to move on to something else. And so, like, let that be your guide of the way that you're going to be moving in these, just through, especially with this beginning something new. If it doesn't feel good, we're not going to follow that path. We're only following the things that do truly, like, inspire us, light us up, draw us, we don't have to be pulled or forced. With the Seven of Cups, okay, don't think that you can mess this up. So this card is usually about a perfectionist. Like, I feel like that there's only one correct way to do things, but there's actually lots of ways to get to the same place here. And so don't be afraid to make decisions. Don't be afraid to make, to move. Don't be afraid to get out of the stuck energy. It's because every decision is moving you out of that stuck energy. And so right now, this lack of decision of being, and if you watched our live on Friday, where we were talking about that why point of just like, I'm so afraid to make a decision. That's what I'm getting with this energy right here. Is like, you see all the opportunity ahead of you, and you know that what's behind you is not what you want, but you're like almost paralyzed in this moment to be able to actually make a decision, because you're afraid that when you make that decision, that's it. Like that there's something here about that you're afraid that you're going to mess something up, and you can't mess this up. So you're just going to make a decision. It's going to give you more information. You'll make another decision at that point. Just, okay, based off of what you got off of that. Is it working for you? Is this somewhere I want to continue to, put my energy? If not, then let's make a different decision. Let's see what other options are available for us. And then with the King of Pentacles, I do think that right now you're working on your abundance too. And so again, we had the King of Wands came out. That is an entrepreneur spirit. And so I feel like that there is something, you're building your foundations too. And you're building a very, very stable, very abundant. I mean, this is just, here they're building a new life. This, I'm building a very abundant life. I'm building a very stable life, one that, you know, just I can spread the wealth to other people as well. All right, so what does your situation look like in 1 week? We have the Three of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Fool. All right, so with the Three of Swords and the Ace of Cups coming out together, I do feel like that there is an ending to a connection, an ending to, like, I feel like this is a breakup of some sorts, just because it's connected with this relationship. With the Ace of Cups, that's a relationship, and then the Three of Swords is a heartbreak. And so I do feel like that there is a breakup, and it's causing you to take off on a new path. It's causing you to choose something different. And this, I'm going to look at this. Give me some more information about this Three of Swords. We have the Four of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. So the Four of Swords is about rest and healing. The Queen of Pentacles is this self-made woman. She's also a single mother. And then with the Eight of Wands, this is some communication. So I do feel like that there is some sort of communication that's coming in. To me, this tells me that we are just still not ready. With this right here, this Four of Swords, the communication is, I'm still not ready for this connection. I'm still not ready for this new start in this relationship. I'm just not ready. I'm still working on it. I still have things I need to do. You still have things that you need to do. I do think that with this communication, this does come in. Okay, this comes in quickly, but I think that this doesn't take as long as what you think it does. With this card right here, with the Eight of Wands, I think that this doesn't take as long as that you think it does. And so, you know, the Three of Swords, it is a heartbreak. There is something, it does look like that there is an ending of some sort, but the Three of Swords is a heartbreak that can be mended. And so versus like the Ten of Swords is something that's done and over, I do feel like that this is just like, we're just still not ready yet. We're just still not ready yet. And there is some sort of communication about that. And it's going to hurt, but it's going to get you focused back onto your path. With this Queen of Pentacles, I'm not Queen of, the Fool, sorry, it's going to get you focused back onto your path. And so this is about trusting, just trusting, like, I don't know the full plan. I don't know where this path is headed, but I'm going to trust that as long as I am working and I'm doing my part, that everything does work out for me, that everything is working towards my highest, greatest good, that the universe has my highest good in mind for me. All right. What does this situation look like in 1 month? We have the Hierophant, the Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Hierophant is, that is a commitment. I think it's rethinking commitments, though. This is rethinking about traditions. I think, because what I keep getting about the twin flame connections is that, honestly, we have to rethink the way that these connections even work. Rethink the way that the commitment of these connections even work, because they are not like the traditional 3D relationships. And so if we keep trying to treat them like that, we're going to keep getting disappointed. So I think that this right here is just, okay, clearly the way that we typically would do things does not work for us. So what can we do? What do we need to do? What is the way that we can make this work? I think that's where we're coming together to get to our personal truth of what is it that we actually need out of this connection? What do they need out of this connection? And again, with the Knight of Pentacles, this is about a long-term commitment. So I do feel like that, again, what I said earlier, when you get that other information that does bring in this little bit of a heartbreak, and pushes you just to get on your path. It's one of those things that when you take your focus off of it, that's when your manifestations have the most opportunity to kind of come together, because you're not putting, that focus, the lack focus on the manifestations. You're not putting that energy out there of the lack. So now it has the time again to be able to just kind of do its natural thing without you putting any resistance or energy back into it that might be slowing it down. Because that's another message of the Eight of Wands is, things are already set into motion. Like the minute that you connected with your twin flame, you've already set this whole journey into motion. So you just have to see it through. And if you just trust that what is meant for you will never pass you by, just trust that like it is already in motion, that you can't mess it up. That is really the message that just kind of keeps coming back. It's like, you cannot mess this up. It may not be working in the way that you think that it needs to work. It may not be showing up in the timeline that you think that it should, but that's all about releasing the outcome of the way that it needs to look, the way that it shows up for you, when it shows up for you, how it shows up for you. Because we get so focused on the end result of being harmonious union that we don't realize that the purpose of this journey is the journey. It is the ascension that's happening through the journey. It's the ascension that's happening. It's the transformations. It's the micro transformations that's happening all throughout the separations, because we know that the feminine heals in separation. And I have seen so many feminines that they go into this separation and they just become completely new people. Just expanded people. And many times I'm looking at their masculines and their masculines haven't changed a bit. And so it's almost like you're not even equally yoked anymore as to even be able to align back. So it's like, okay, you might have both started off here in this very unhealed place. But the feminine took that and she started working with it and she started expanding and growing. And now then, if the masculine never did anything, the feminine is way up here. You're not aligned. You're not aligned here either. So to have this masculine come in while you are at this level, this is only going to cause heartache. This is going to hurt you. And so the only thing you can do is to take your focus off of that other connection, that other person. You keep doing you, because you've done what you were supposed to do. You are ascending. You are growing. You can see it in your life. Allow every other bit of the abundance to start coming in, and be thankful for every part of that abundance that's coming to you. And take your focus off of the other person so that just what is naturally supposed to be happening will start happening, and they will come into that natural alignment with you. And if it's not that person, if that person doesn't come into the natural alignment with you, you're setting your intention that I am getting my divine counterpart. So you will get someone who is in that natural vibration, that same vibration that you are in. You will get your divine counterpart, an equal worthy divine counterpart. You cannot mess this up. The only thing, you can slow it down. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close us out with pulling a card from the Art of Manifestation Oracle. So what can we do right now to help bring our manifestations in? We have imperfection. Let's see. Imperfection. In our goal-driven world, we can seek to blame whenever things do not run smoothly. And yet it is in our imperfections that make our human lives that perfect vessel for the evolution of the soul. Strive to be the best that you can be. Cherish your mistakes and those of others, and honor the learning to be found in every experience. And so again, I felt like earlier when I saw, which card was it? That Seven of Cups, that we were dealing with a potential perfectionist. Like that there's only one way, that you can't mess this up. That's the message. You can't mess this up. So if you're afraid taking your focus off of that other person will make this connection completely fall apart, then maybe this isn't the connection. maybe this isn't your twin flame. Because if you really think about that, if it's your twin flame, you cannot mess it up. So if you're wanting to take the actions that you're being guided to take right now, let me see if I can put this in a way that you can possibly still see it. Okay, it's not doing it. Okay. But if you take the actions that you are feeling guided to take right now, and if those actions are to take your focus away from this connection to be in even another connection, take the actions that you are guided to take. You cannot mess this up. So what is meant for you will not pass you by. That is just like, that's the loudest part of this reading, is you can't mess this up. So do what you feel called to do. Let go of the outcome. Release the need to know when it's going to show up, how it's going to show up. Just know that it is going to show up. And I think that there is some stress there because you're afraid you're going to get in a connection. Here's where it's at. You're afraid that you're going to move forward. You're going to get in a connection. And then this is going to come back in your life and just tear everything up. You will not be in alignment with this person if you are in another connection. You can't be. And I think that that's something that we can forget right now, is if your person is in another connection right now, you are not in alignment. So the only way you could be in alignment for union to come in is if both of you are single and able to be in union. So do think about that if you're in another connection, you're not in alignment anyways. You're not missing it, because the fact that you're in another connection shows that you're not in alignment. And so I think that that's the fear. That's the fear of like, if I do move forward, if I go here, if I move here, think about just all of the magic of this whole connection already. When the time is right, everything will align the way that it's supposed to align. You do not have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about it. You don't have to force it. In fact, if you're forcing it, you're almost guaranteed to keep pushing it off, because that force is just literally pushing it away. It's not pulling it. It's not attracting it. It's not bringing it to you. It's literally repelling it from you. So we cannot force this connection. We can only accept things, where they're at, and do what we can for ourselves, keep ascending, keep evolving, and it'll line up when it's meant to line up. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I hope you found value in this. I am going to go ahead and do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to pull cards for each of the zodiac signs. We'll look at just the current snapshot for each of the connections, get the best move forward. That information is going to be in the description box below. And other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.